Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to The Body Speaks. Are you listening? I'm someone who healed from rheumatoid arthritis, a condition that attacked my body when I was 27 years old. Over the years of searching and learning and doing the deep inner work, I discovered something that changed everything. The body is our alert system, and for a long time, my body had been trying to get my attention for decades before I finally understood what it was saying. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Susan, certified somatic trauma-informed coach, and the rest of my credentials are in the show notes below. Last episode, we looked at insomnia and inflammation together, two conditions that share the same root in the nervous system that never learned to fully rest. The response from that episode has been extraordinary, and I'm so grateful that it landed the way it did. If you have not listened yet, please go back, particularly if you are living with either of those conditions. Today, we start with the J's, two conditions that are most connected than they might first appear: joint pain and jaw pain. Both are conditions of holding, of bracing, of the body tightening against something that could not be expressed in any other way. And for many people in this community, they have been present for years, quietly, persistently, faithfully, without ever being fully understood. So let's start first with talking about joint pain. Joint pain is one of the most common physical complaints in the world and one of the most varied in its presentation. It can arrive as stiffness that is worse in the morning and eases throughout the day, as a deep aching discomfort that settles in the knees, hips, shoulders, or hands, as an inflammatory flare that arrives without obvious physical cause and subsides unpredictably, as the chronic low-grade companion that has been present for so long it has stopped feeling like a symptom and started feeling like a permanent state. Medicine distinguishes between different types of joint pain: osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, bursitis, tendinitis, and many others, and fibromyalgia as well. And each of these has its own physiological mechanism that deserves proper medical assessment and care. But underneath all of them runs a thread that medicine rarely follows: the relationship between joint pain and the emotional world in which the person experiencing it has been living. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is released in sustained quantities during chronic emotional stress. Among its many effects on the body, it directly suppresses the nutrients and minerals that maintain healthy joint tissue, redirecting those resources to the organs and systems prioritized in the emergency response. When the stress is acute, this is temporary. When the stress is chronic, the joints are continuously deprived of what they need to stay healthy, subtle, and free of inflammation. The joint pain that arrives after years of sustained emotional stress, it's not a coincidence. It is the body's faithful accounting of what has been spent. Joints are the places in the body where movement happens, where one structure meets another, and where the capacity to flex and bend and extend and change direction lives. When the joints begin to speak with pain or restriction, the body may be expressing something about movement itself, about flexibility, about the capacity to change direction, about the places in life where bending has felt dangerous, or where holding rigidly has felt like the only available safety. Louise Hay connects joint pain to inflexibility, fear of change, and the ability to move in a new direction. Rheumatoid arthritis specifically she connects to feeling victimized, chronic bitterness, resentment, and deep criticism, the emotion that has been held and held and held without being given safe expression. And I can speak to this personally. My own experience with rheumatoid arthritis arrived at 27 years old. After nearly a decade inside a relationship that required me to suppress my authentic responses, to bend constantly to what was required of me, and maintain a rigid external composure over an internal world of unprocessed emotion, I have healed tremendously. I still have occasional flares, and when I do, I have learned to ask myself a question that I never used to know to ask. What has been building inside me that I have not yet found a way to express? The flare is never random. It always has something to say. And when I listen, when I actually sit with the joint and ask it what it's holding, the answer is always honest and almost always connected to something that I have been suppressing rather than something that happened to my body externally. The body speaks. It has never stopped speaking. I'm just finally fluent enough to hear it. In internal family systems, IFS, joint pain is often connected to parts that have been carrying resentment, unexpressed anger, or the chronic effort of maintaining rigidity, holding a particular shape, a particular response, a particular version of the self in environments where being flexible or authentic felt unsafe. The joint is the body's physical expression of the physiological holding. And when the parts are given a voice, when the emotion that has been stiffening the tissue finally has somewhere to go, the holding in the body often begins to soften with it. The question we're sitting with: where in your life have you been holding rigidly, maintaining a posture, a response, a version of yourself, because authentic movement felt too dangerous? And what would it feel like to begin to soften, even slightly, in the direction of what is actually true? Now, joint pain maps two energy centers: the root chakra and the solar plexus. The root governs foundational safety, groundedness, and the basic sense of being allowed to move freely through life. Joint pain in the hips, the knees, the lower body, the joints that carry us forward, that allow us to walk away, to change direction, to leave, is often root chakra territory. When the foundation does not feel safe, the joints that govern movement reflect that unsafety with restriction and with pain. The solar plexus chakra, which is the upper abdomen, it governs personal power and will and the right to take up space and move in chosen directions. It also governs suppressed anger, suppressed personal power, and the chronic effort of maintaining a rigid external self while an authentic one is held captive inside. All of this accumulates in the solar plexus and expresses through the tissue that surrounds the joints of the upper body. So the invitation would be to place your hand on the joint that carries the most discomfort. Breathe healing light and warmth into it, and ask it directly, what have you been holding? And let the answer arrive without judgment. Be open-minded. Be willing to hear and feel, and even see in your mind images, if that comes through as well, what your body is trying to convey to you. The physiological mechanism linking chronic stress and joint pain is well documented. Cortisol, released chronically during sustained emotional stress, suppresses the production of collagen and inhibits the absorption of minerals, and that includes calcium and magnesium that maintain healthy joint tissue. It also increases systemic inflammation, the same inflammation that drives most forms of joint disease. For people who have lived in emotionally abusive or chronically unpredictable relationships, the nervous system has often been running a sustained stress response for years and sometimes even decades. The joints that ache, the stiffness that arrives every morning, the flares that seem to correlate with periods of heightened emotional stress, these are not imagined. They are the body's faithful physiological response to an internal environment that has been in a state of chronic alert. Every somatic practice in this series that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the extended exhale, the hand on the heart, the vagus nerve breath, that helps reduce the cortisol load that the joints are living in. And that, my friend, is not a small thing. Joint pain, particularly when it's chronic and arrives without clear mechanical cause, often carries a life lesson about flexibility. Not physical flexibility, but the internal kind, to allow change, to move in a new direction, to release the rigid holding that has kept a version of the self in place, long past the point where that version serves. The recurring question is, where have I been stiff with myself or with my life? Where has the holding been so complete that even the tissue has begun to mirror it? And what would it mean if I allowed it to soften, not as a surrender, but as the beginning of a more honest movement? Learning to connect with what your body is telling you is the first step. Omega-3 fatty acids directly reduce joint inflammation. Turmeric and its active compound, curcumin, have significant research behind them for joint pain. Gentle, consistent movement, like swimming and walking, maintain joint mobility without adding load. And the emotional practices of this series address joint pain at the level of the stress chemistry that's driving it. Now let's talk about jaw pain. The jaw is one of the most revealing places in the body. It sits at the intersection of speaking and silence. It is the gatekeeper of what is said and what is swallowed. And it is one of the first places the nervous system reaches when it is trying to manage something that cannot be expressed in any other way. TMJ encompasses a range of conditions affecting the jaw joint and the muscles that control jaw movement. The symptoms can include jaw pain and tenderness, a clicking or a popping sound when the mouth opens or closes, difficulty opening the mouth fully. It even includes headaches that begin at the temples, earaches that have no infection, and the sensation of the jaw locking, either opened or closed during movement or on waking. The grinding or clenching of teeth is one of the primary contributors to TMJ and affects an estimated 1 in 3 adults, with rates significantly higher among people with trauma histories. Here's the detail that I find most significant and most consistent with everything this series has been saying about how the body operates. Approximately 70% of TMJ sufferers are women, and the rates of TMJ are measurably higher in people with histories of trauma and anxiety and chronic stress. This is not a coincidence. This is the body faithfully reporting what it has been living inside. When the nervous system perceives threat, real or remembered, the jaw often clamps down. It tightens to hold back words, contain emotion, or suppress something vulnerable. The jaw, rich with sensory nerves and close to the emotional centers of the brain, becomes a kind of emotional amplifier. Each clench or grind is the body's attempt to manage something that feels too large, too fast, or too unspoken. What I find particularly powerful about jaw clenching and teeth grinding is where it most often happens: during sleep. When the conscious mind has finally let go of vigilance, the nervous system continues its work. The jaw grinds, the teeth clench, the muscles that have been holding all day keep holding through the night, because the hyperarousal of a nervous system living under chronic threat does not switch off when the eyes close. The body keeps bracing, keeps guarding, keeps holding the boundary between what is inside and what is allowed out, even in the dark, even in what should be the deep rest of sleep. I have experienced TMJ, and there were mornings I woke up and could not fully open my mouth. I wore a night guard here and there and was told it was stress without ever being given the deeper picture. What I now understand is that my jaw was holding everything I was not allowed to say, Every response I swallowed, every truth I bit back, every moment I smiled when I wanted to speak, the jaw was not malfunctioning. It was doing precisely what my nervous system required of it in that relationship, keeping the gate closed, keeping what was unspeakable inside, keeping the surface smooth while everything beneath it was pressing to get out. If you have been told your jaw tension is just stress, I want you to know that is only the beginning of the conversation. The stress has a source, and the jaw has been faithfully guarding it. Louise Hay connects jaw conditions to anger, resentment, and the desire for revenge, emotions that could not find safe expression and that went into the body instead. And the somatic connection is precise. The jaw is intimately linked with the fight response, the bracing against conflict and the swallowing of anger, with the freeze and fawn responses, suppressing truth to avoid rupture or rejection. It is connected to the vagus nerve and the social engagement system. And when the social engagement system learns that certain expressions are dangerous, the jaw becomes the guard at the gate. In IFS, I think of the clenching jaw as a very specific kind of manager, one that has been stationed at the border between the internal world and the external one, holding back what is too dangerous to let through. And the exile it is protecting is the part that has things to say, important things, true things, things that were not safe to speak in a relationship that taught the jaw to clench. So the question we're sitting with is, what has your jaw been holding back? Not hypothetically, specifically. What is the sentence that lives between your back teeth that have never been allowed to become sound? So the chakra connection is the throat chakra and the solar plexus. The throat chakra governs authentic expression, the right to speak one's truth, and the voice's freedom to move between internal knowing and external communication. The jaw is the physical gatekeeper of the throat chakra. When authentic expression is chronically suppressed, when what is true inside is consistently prevented from becoming sound, the jaw may begin to carry the energetic and physical weight of that suppression. A blocked throat chakra and a clenching jaw are almost always telling the same story. The solar plexus chakra governs personal power and the right to be seen and heard in one's full authentic expression. When personal power is chronically suppressed in a relationship where being genuinely oneself carried consequences, the solar plexus becomes depleted and the body's physical expressions of that depletion, including the jaw's holding, reflect the long-term cost. So the invitation is to soften the jaw now. Like, let it drop just slightly from wherever it is being held, and notice the relief of that. And then ask, what would I say if the jaw were always this soft? The connection between trauma, chronic stress, and jaw clenching is now well supported in research. PTSD's hyperarousal symptoms, the nervous system's inability to fully downregulate even in the absence of immediate threat, translate directly into physical muscle tension, including involuntary jaw clenching and grinding during sleep. The hyperarousal does not switch off at night. The jaw keeps bracing even when the conscious mind is unaware. Research also confirms that trauma and jaw tension are associated with more severe TMJ symptoms and higher rates of teeth grinding, and that the relationship works in both directions. Trauma-driven stress fuels the teeth grinding, and the resulting jaw pain can worsen the underlying stress and trauma symptoms. The jaw is one of the most sensitive indicators of nervous system activation, one of the first places to brace when the system perceives threat, real or a remembered threat. And because it is so intimately linked with the vagus nerve and the social engagement system, it is also one of the places most responsive to nervous system regulation practices. When the jaw softens, the whole system tends to soften with it. jaw pain and TMJ, when they persist despite dental intervention, often carry a life lesson about expression, specifically about the relationship between what is known internally and what is allowed to become sound externally. The recurring question is, what has been held between the teeth for so long that the jaw has begun to show the weight of it? And what would it mean to begin giving that held content a safe, chosen, conscious voice, not to the person who made speaking unsafe, but to like a journal, a therapist, a trusted friend, or simply yourself in a room just speaking out loud what you've been holding in? Because the jaw that has been the guard for years deserves finally to be relieved of that job. Learning to connect with what your body's telling you is the first step. A night guard can protect the teeth while the deeper work is undertaken. Magnesium glycinate before bed supports muscle relaxation and reduces nocturnal clenching. The practice of consciously releasing the jaw throughout the day, noticing the clenching, letting the jaw drop, breathing through the mouth briefly, begins to interrupt the automatic holding pattern. And the somatic and IFS practices throughout this series addresses jaw tension at the level where it actually lives in the nervous system that has been asking the jaw to keep the gate closed. 2 conditions today, both of them about holding. Joint pain, the body stiffening against the places where authentic movement felt too dangerous, where change felt too risky, where the only option that felt available was to hold still and endure. And jaw pain, the guard at the gate, the body's most faithful expression of everything that was present and real and true, and yet could not be allowed to become sound. The holding was not wrong. In the environment where it was learned, it may have been the most intelligent response available. But the environment has changed. In the body, your joints and your jaw and the whole faithful, extraordinary system of you is ready to begin to learn that. Not all at once, but one breath at a time, one softening, one small permission to move in a direction that is genuinely yours. God, the universe, source, the intelligence that placed within every human body the capacity for both speech and silence, for both movement and stillness, and the wisdom to know which serves in any given moment. That intelligence has been here through every moment of holding, and it's here now, in this moment of beginning, gently to let go. Your body has always been on your side. Every joint that aches, every jaw that clenches, every signal that has been faithfully, persistently, lovingly sent toward the only goal the body has ever had, to get you here, whole, alive, and finally listening how you can begin to heal. Now, if you're ready for your guided meditation, find a comfortable place and allow your feet to be flat on the floor and both hands open in your lap, and closing your eyes if you're comfortable to do so. Let's take one slow, deep breath in through your nose and a nice, longer, complete exhale through your mouth, letting your body arrive fully here in this present moment. And before we begin, I want to invite you to do one thing. Let your jaw soften, not dramatically, just a small release. Let the back teeth separate slightly. Let the muscles that run from the jaw up through the temple ease just even 1 degree. Notice that you were holding, and notice what it feels like when you're not. Now bring your awareness to the joint that carries the most discomfort, whether it's the knee, your shoulder, your hips, your hands, your feet, whatever it might be. And place your awareness there like a warm hand filled with love. And from your higher self, from the part of you that is calm and curious and has always been there beneath the pain. Go ahead and speak to that part that's been holding in that pain and say to it, I see you. I know how long you've been keeping this particular shape. I know what you've been bracing against. You did not deserve to carry this alone. I am here now. I'm paying attention. And I'm going to start making this easier for you. And breathe. Now bring your awareness to your jaw. Feel where it is right now. The muscles at the sides of the face. The point where your teeth meet, whether they're holding there even now. And be aware of the part that has been stationed at the gate of your expression. The guard that has held back so much for so long. And then speaking from your higher self, say these words with warmth and love. I know what you have been keeping inside. I know the sentences that live between your back teeth. I know how long you have been at your post. You were not wrong to guard what felt too dangerous to speak. And I want you to know I'm ready to take some of that. You do not have to hold it all alone anymore. And breathe. Now let's work with the body directly. Return to the joint that may be giving you some issues and breathe warmth into it 3 times, directing the breath consciously into that specific place, not trying to fix it, just bringing presence to it. Let each exhale carry a small invitation to soften. Now bring your awareness back to your jaw, and this time with full intention, let it release. Let the teeth separate. Let the tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Let the muscles that run from your jaw to the temples ease backward. And breathe through the slightly open mouth. Feel the air moving freely through the place that has been guarded. Do 3 breaths like this, each one a message to the nervous system, telling it the gate does not need to be held closed right now. It is safe to breathe freely here. And notice if there's anything that wants to arise in the space of the open jaw. Perhaps a sound or a sigh, a word or a sob. Just let it. You do not have to name it or explain it. Whatever you're feeling, just let it move through the place where it has been held. Now feel both the joints and the jaw at the same time. Two places in the body where the holding has been most faithful. And offer them both together from the deepest, most honest place you can find. These words of love. Thank you for keeping me here through every difficult year. Every moment of having to hold what should have been able to move. I hear you now, and I'm going to keep listening. And gradually, in my own time, I'm going to help you learn that it's safe to begin to let go. And breathe. And speak this to the intelligence within you, to God, to the universe, to Source. I am becoming fluent in the language of my body. I'm learning to hear what it has always been trying to tell me. And I'm grateful for the joints that carried me and the jaw that guarded me and my whole faithful system that kept me here until I was ready to listen. Now take one final deep breath in all the way and one long exhale. Let the jaw be the last thing to release. Soften it one more degree. Feeling your feet on the floor and your body back in the present moment. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Today we talked about joint pain and jaw pain, two conditions of holding, two faithful expressions of a body that has been carrying what the emotional world could not safely put down anywhere else. If the meditation brought up something tender today, if the jaw released and something moved through it that surprised you, please be gentle with yourself. That is the body doing its work. Just let it. In the next episode, episode 13, we move into the L's. We will be talking about liver conditions and lung conditions, the body's two great holders of anger and grief. Two more conditions that, when you understand the emotional root beneath them, will never look random again. You can find me here every week offering you a safe place to land. If today names something that your body has been expressing for years without language, this work goes much deeper in one-to-one sessions. Joint pain and jaw tensions both respond powerfully to somatic nervous system work, and you can find information to connect with me in the show notes below. But before you go, too, I hope you will be so kind as to leave a comment and tell me if joint pain or jaw tension speaks something to you or someone you care about. If you've been living with either of these or maybe never considered the emotional connection, I would love to hear what landed today. If The Body Speaks is helping you understand your body, I hope you subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. And please leave a thumbs up and share with someone today. And I hope to see you next week. Remember, my friend, your body has always been on your side. Till next week, love and hugs.